Media, in all forms, have arguably become the leading sex educator in America today. On average, children ages 2 to 5 spend 32 hours a week in front of a TV. That means, at that rate, by the time those children reach 18, they will have spent almost 3.5 years of their life consuming media. Not only will they be consuming mass amounts of content, they will quite literally be shaped by it. Studies have shown the accumulated experience of media exposure contributes to the cultivation of child's values, beliefs, dreams, and expectations, which shape the adult identity of a child will carry and modify through his or her life. One would think, with how progressive we have become as a society, that this would translate positively for those in the LGBTQ community and how they are being seen. However, despite television's potential for educating about sexual relationships, the general conclusion is that the messages it sends about sexuality are distorted, stereotypical, and potentially harmful. What is the heterosexual script? It has its origins in the sexual script theory perspective on human sexual behavior. Its basic premise is that all social behavior, including sexual behavior, is socially scripted, and then society is constructed from these strongly held beliefs, and also created is the social norms regarding sexuality. The heterosexual script turns out to be very popular on primetime US American TV, with references to this script appearing 15.5 times per hour. This poses a really important question. During those 32 hours a week our children are watching TV, what scripts are they being presented with? Children's animations may be one of the most powerful teachers of gender and sexuality, especially since most children consume hundreds, if not thousands, of hours of videos even before they can talk. While most adults perceive children's animated films as harmless, are they truly? Studies have shown that the children's animated film industry has played a role in creating a heterosexist culture, whether through the heterosexual script or by circulating derogatory allusions to gay, lesbian, and bisexual people. Children quickly learn from these animations those who conform to society's prescribed gender roles are rewarded, while those who deviate from them are typically punished somehow. Have we truly progressed as much as we think we have? The Disney Corporation is one of the largest media companies in the world. Disney's full-length animated films have been a popular form of children's entertainment for more than 60 years, and it is a major contributor to children's media. In an analysis of 16 animated Disney films, researchers found that gender images have not evolved to match the changes that have occurred in society, but remain stereotypic and similar to the gender portrayals beginning in the first animated Disney film in 1937. Another thematic analysis was performed on a selected group of 26 feature-length Disney animated movies. The themes analyzed were the following. In these 26 feature-length films, how are boys or men portrayed? How are girls or women portrayed? How are the LGBTQ people portrayed? 5 themes emerged related to what it means to be a boy or a man. 1. Men primarily use physical means to express their emotions or show no emotions. 2. Men are not in control of their sexuality. 3. Men are naturally strong and heroic. 4. Men have non-domestic jobs. And 5. Overweight men have negative characteristics. 4 themes emerged related to what it means to be a girl or a woman. 1. A woman's appearance is valued more than her intellect. 2. Women are helpless and in need of protection. 3. Women are domestic and likely to marry. 4. Overweight women are ugly, unpleasant, and unmarried. And finally, no portrayals of same-sex relationships were evident in any of the 26 films studied. What kind of message is this invisibility sending our children about homosexuality? This omission continues to reinforce the invisibility of homosexuality in our society. What they did find in this study was characters with opposite gender behavior, and given the stereotype in the United States culture that gay men and lesbian women have opposite gender behavior, this theme was examined. What they found to be overwhelmingly true was there was negative portrayals of men with traditionally female traits. In these movies, the bad guys or their sidekicks were typically shown as having feminine traits. Prince John from Robin Hood is portrayed in a stereotypically effeminate way. He has a high-pitched laugh, a limp wrist, wears a lot of jewelry, and is too small to fit into his robe or throne. In Peter Pan, Captain Hook's sidekick, Mr. Sneed, has many stereotypically feminine traits and displays nurturing behavior toward Hook and the pirates. He is ridiculed and shown singing and dancing all by himself. However, they did find some instances men display what are traditionally thought to be feminine traits without having negative portrayals. Peter Pan is small and sprightly. Tarzan fits into the traditional male appearance role, but is introspective and emotional. In these two cases, men are not disparaged for having non-traditional male traits. What they also found was that same-sex affection between men in these movies was considered to be disgusting and receives ridicule. In Beauty and the Beast, when the male candle kisses the male clock on both cheeks, the male clock reacts with disgust. In Mulan, when Mulan is posing as a male soldier and slaps one of the other male soldiers on the behind, it makes him very angry. Interestingly, in The Lion King, males being affectionate with one another was seen as acceptable, as portrayed in the relationship between the warthog Timon and the meerkat Pumbaa. They concluded, however, disparaging images of same-sex contact outweighed any images of positive same-sex contact. Since the completion of these two studies, Disney continues to release new movies that challenge gender roles and gender stereotyping. Brave and Frozen, in particular, both challenged the idea that women were in need of men to save them, or they were in need to be married. Most recently, Disney released the remake of Beauty and the Beast, in which director Bill Condon announced Disney would have their very first openly gay character. LeFou. LeFou as Gaston's flamboyant sidekick. Director Bill Condon describes LeFou as somebody who is just realizing that he has these feelings and he's confused over what he wants. Mr. Condon said the character played by Josh Gad is part of a watershed moment for Disney. He said the studio is sending out a message that this is normal and natural, and this is a message that will be heard in every country of the world, even countries where it is still socially unacceptable or even illegal to be gay. He went on to say, it is a nice, exclusively gay moment in a Disney movie. So, what is this exclusively gay moment, you ask? I have to admit, I went to this movie. I was super excited to see this groundbreaking moment, and I left the movie thinking they must have actually cut it out. Turns out this exclusive moment was nothing more than a blink and you'll miss it shot in the film's final seconds, where LeFou dances with a man in the final ball sequence just before the credits roll. Supposedly, he also makes eyes at Gaston throughout the film as well. If he did, he's a terrible flirt, and I missed it. As disappointing as I found Disney's first representation of an openly gay man, it was not met without resistance or outrage. So much so that in fact it was banned in other countries and even right here in the US. That blink and you miss it exclusive gay scene was so undesirable that a family-owned Henniger Drive-In Theater in Alabama decided to ban it from their screen altogether. Included in their statement was this: Interesting side note. At one point after their ban, listed on their theater's website on their now showing page was Moana, a PG rated Disney film, just like Beauty and the Beast is, starring a Polynesian demigod, and also Rogue One, which is rated PG-13 and features insurgents committing suicide bombings at government installations. Why does this all matter? A communication theory by Professor Walter Fisher introduced a theory called the narrative paradigm. This theory presumes that all humans are storytellers and communicate mostly through stories. People evaluate the stories they hear based on their own experiences, views of morality, and values. He labels this evaluative process the narrative rationality, where most lay people, like you and I, would make judgments based on culture, biography, and their life experiences. Because popular culture tends to reflect society, television shows, books, and movies shape our ideas on same sex couples. We need popular culture to do a better job representing this community. The representation of the LGBTQ community has gotten in the children's film industry is nothing more than a token, as if their small, underdeveloped role is the mascot to acceptance that holds up the banner of diversity. Real representation would look like having plenty of complex and interesting LGBTQ characters on both sides of the good and evil spectrum. Gender stereotypes continue to be portrayed, and non dominant groups are portrayed negatively, marginalized, or not there at all. We can do better.